So referencing another project by name. In many places throughout Jenkins, you can refer to another project or another job by name. For example, in a pipeline script, you might want to copy artifacts from another project. That's the best example we can take. In that case, you have to refer the another project name output as a output artifact in your new pipeline script. So in that case, we gonna write as copy artifact and project name, and you have to give the project name there. So that's all you need to do if your target project's name is simply alphanumeric and is a simple project without sub projects and has a unique name throughout your entire Jenkins instance. Then differentiating between multiple projects with the same name. If you are using the folders plugin, I'll show you that folders plugin. I thought I have shown you that. So if you are using the folders plugin and you have multiple projects with the same name that are in different folders, you can differentiate between them using a path similar to a Unix file system path. Let me get into that. Manage Jenkins. And come to the manage plugins. Available plugins, folders. You see this? Folders. There's plugin. Folders plugin. Okay. So there are two types of paths. One is absolute paths. Absolute paths. Absolute paths begin with a forward slash and refer to a project by describing the complete path to navigate to the project from the home page of your Jenkins instance. For example, to reference a project in the root of your Jenkins instance, you can say forward slash my project. Or to reference a project in a subfolder, you can say forward slash and the folder name and my project. And another type of path is relative path. So relative paths begin with a forward slash. Relative paths begins with something other than a forward slash. It's not a forward slash and refer to another project in relation to the current project. For example, say you have projects with the following absolute paths. So this is using absolute path forward slash subfolder another project. Then in a pipeline script you can actually use it as a relative path, mentioning in a pipeline script for the same forward slash folder subfolder my project, you could refer to forward slash folder subfolder another project using the relative path, simply saying another project. That's it. And you could refer to forward slash folder forward slash some project using the relative path, where it means to look into the parent folder. You can say just forward slash some project, and you could refer to the same project forward slash that project using the relative path. You can actually if you are in that directory, you can directly use a relative path. and referencing components inside the project. Sometimes some types of projects such as Maven projects, matrix projects, and multi-branch projects have subcomponents. You can refer to these subcomponents as follows. You can refer to an entire Maven project as my Maven project, or to a group within a Maven project you can refer it as my Maven project / my dot group, and are to a particular module in that group in that Maven project, you can refer to it as my Maven project / my dot group, and then for that module to be referenced you have to put dollar symbol and mention the module name. So now let us do our first exercise in Jenkins. So we will begin with installing tools in Jenkins using global tool configuration. So let me take sticky, one is Java, two Maven using Jenkins global tool configuration option. So this is actually a first step for us installing tools in Jenkins, and after that we will see what we are going to do. Okay, so let's do our first step, and let me get into our Jenkins. So we have to begin. For that I will set up GitHub also by the time. Yeah, here it is. Here is my account. And let me go to repositories first. Let me cross check. GitHub Docker Maven. This is Maven. This is CI. This is view profile Jenkins build project. Yeah, let me keep this one. And let me come to Jenkins again. And let's begin. So it's time to create our first job. So let's, if you want to create your first job, you have to click on dashboard and click on either new item or create a job. But before that we have to do all the pre-configuration or pre-setup to create a first job. So that we are going to do that. We are going to start with installing tools. Okay, so as we did in Maven lecture, we did mvn install and it builds the artifact for us from the source code. But if you remember in Maven we installed jdk8, and in Jenkins we have installed jdk11. So before we run our job, before we create and run our job, our first job, we need to make sure we have the jdk8 and Maven, because that's what we're gonna do. Our first job is to build an artifact. That's our first job. So to build an artifact, what are the prerequisites? So prerequisites are Java 8 and Maven. This should be installed first, then only we can move to the next step. So before we run our job, we need to make sure we have Java Development Kit 8 and Maven. So in the Jenkins, now I'm going to show you how to do that. First, let's get into manage Jenkins. Then in manage Jenkins, in the system configuration section, let's get into global tool configuration. So what is a global tool configuration? So global tool configuration is to configure tools, their locations and automatic installers. This is a global tool configuration. So let me enter into the global tool configuration. Now from here we can configure the tools that Jenkins will use. So there is a JDK installation. If you scroll down, you could find that here it is, JDK installation. So if you scroll down further down, you could find see Gradle, and here it is the Maven. So we got the both the tools, JDK and Maven. So now, so first let's click on add JDK. So new window has been opened, or new section has been populated up. So and we are going to give a name to this JDK, that is Oracle JDK 8. You can give any name whatever you want, but you should remember that name, because we are going to refer this tool using this name in our pipelines. So we are not going to do this install automatically. You see that? Why? We are going to uncheck that option and uncheck. Let's uncheck this option. Yeah. So why we are not going to, why we did not install automatically? Because what happens, sometimes it's when we say install automatically, so it will directly go to the Oracle uh, Oracle website, and from there it will fetch the respective Java development kit version, and it will install it in our in our Jenkins. It will establish a connection with the Jenkins. But the issue is, recently, almost 2 to 3 years, we have been working on this. Because of this automatic installation with the Java development kit, we have faced, not only me, many of our team members also have faced the same issue. Like whenever we go for automatic installation, we were facing some issues while we are building projects. So that is the reason I would prefer to go with the manual installation instead of the automatic installation. Even still, sometimes auto installation also may work, but not sure. It's not reliable. So it should be unchecked, and we will install a JDK from the command line, then specify its path over Java home. You see that? Java home. I told you this while we were working on Maven. So Maven home. Similarly, Java home. We have to find out the binary file directory, the binary file location in your server, and you have to bring that and you have to put it in here so that the system can access that JDK. You have to put it in that rectangle box. So all you need to do is just switch to Jenkins instance at this moment. So let me get into the Jenkins instance. Yeah, it's gone. So now it's time, as we become a sudo root user. So now we need to run two commands. The first one is sudo apt update. Let's update the package management tool. Then once updation of package management is done, then let's go for sudo apt install. We'll go with open jdk -8 jdk and option y. Let's execute and install Java Development Kit version 8. So installation is still under progress. Finally it's done. So now let me check Java version. So here it is, open JDK runtime environment build. So this one is showing, and which Java. Here, see, when you say which Java, you will get this location. This is very important for us. So with this location, we can find out the information. So here you have the binary file. Let me copy this. If you go here, you will find your binary files of Java. So user and binary and ls cd Java. Okay, sorry, that's a binary file, cat Java. If you see that, you will find that. But now what I want is, I want to see what all versions are there in this machine. So I would give cd. I'll do cd and user, and in spite of binary file, I'll go the library lib and Java virtual machines JVM. And you see that how many versions I have? Java 1.11.0 OpenJDK and Java 1.8.0 OpenJDK. So for Maven, what do you require? What did I tell? We require 8 OpenJDK 8. So I require this one. I require this one. So I'm gonna copy this. So let me make a directory here. So it is, this is where our JVM present. So let me copy this and paste it here, and I will paste the 1.8.0 JVM also in this location. So here it is, total, and let me copy this. This is our Java home. This is our Java home. So let's copy this path and get back to our Jenkins and paste it in Java home rectangle box of the Jenkins. And let me paste it and remove any additional information or additional characters that are present here. So now it's fine. User lib Java JVM Java 1.8. Okay, done. So it's done. Now addition of Java development kit or configuring the Java tool with Jenkins is done. So Java tool, we have installed it in Jenkins server, and we have connected that Java tool with Jenkins using Java or JDK plugin. So without this plugin, it is impossible. When after installing the plugin, you will get this option, or else you won't get it only. So that's the reason plugin extends the connection between these two. A plugin basically makes that possibility of connecting a Jenkins with the external tool. So that is the reason. Sometimes you don't need to install a tool in some other server, and you don't need to connect. You can do it automatically. We are gonna do with Maven. So what is plugin? A plugin, it creates a possibility to install, and it brings that actual tool. Plugin is not a tool. Okay, that's a different issues. Those are different components altogether. A plugin and a tool are completely different. Plugin creates a possibility to install a tool. So let me get into the Maven now. So in Maven section, similar to Java JDK, you can click on add Maven, and this is pretty simple. You can see that first you have to name it. You give the name. I would say Maven. It's capital MAVN 3. I'll go with the Maven 3. So then I would go with the automatic installation only, so that it would be clear. So I will not install Maven and then I will not I will not take that home directory and place it here. So if you go with, you see that Maven home, you have to copy the Maven home here. So I will go with the install automatically. Automatic installation I will go. So Maven is done. So with this you can clear that a plugin will create an environment, will create a possibility to install your tools. A plugin is different than tool. This should be very clear in your mind. So then let me click on save, and that's all. So we are back on. Let's get back to our dashboard. So our installation of tools, configuring the tools is done. So now when you run the build job, that time, whenever it needs, at that time, it will install the tools that you have configured just now. So we haven't installed the tool, we have configured the tool. When we run the job, that time the tools get installed. So now whatever we have done is called the configuration of tool. So look into we will look into the next exercise now.